Hey, so I'm going to go over how to create custom shapes using Photoshop or Photopea. And I'm just going to say, I can't even tell you how many times I've recorded this thing because something has gone wrong every time. But I've learned a lot of things that don't work right if you don't do them right in this process. So custom shapes are those things that when you click on your little rectangle tool over here on the left and you go to the bottom custom shape tool, then you get this little drop down up here and you have custom shapes. You can draw them in there. Okay, so what I've done here is I've added my name, but I skipped the O in Tanya and I put a shape from the current custom shapes. I just had one of these in here. So I put that in here. And then I took and made a blank layer and I took just a plain old paintbrush and I painted to make it look like these letters were connected. Okay, so shapes are shapes. Text is not a shape, it's text. And then brushes are rasterized things. So Photoshop won't let you take all three of these things and merge them together. Matter of fact, it's not even one of the options because they're not all similar things. Mainly because this brush thing here is not a vector. So we have to make it one. Anyway, the process to do that is to hold down Control and click. That selects those. And then you have to go to your Paths panel, which is usually up here, but I pulled mine down here so you could see them both. And you're going to hit the button to create a path from the selection. That makes a path, but technically, if I turn this eyeball off, you'll see that path is technically empty. Like we're actually done with this brush layer now because that's an invisible path. Well, we need to make it a shape. So to make the path a shape, you're going to click here on this adjustment layer button and go to the top, solid color. Now, that fills it with solid color. Make sure it's black. All this stuff should be black. And there we go. So now we have it. I can get rid of the brushed on layer. And now I have a shape layer and a shape layer and a text layer. And if I select all of them and right click now, I can merge my layers. So now that I have them merged, they're not shapes anymore. And in order for you to add it as a custom shape, you have to turn this whole thing into a shape. So it's that same process that I just did a minute ago. Control click on paths, make a path. Now, we don't have to do the next step because we're creating a brush from it. So you're just going to go to Edit, Define Custom Shape, and then give it a name. So Tanya Flower or whatever. And then it's going to add it to the bottom of the list right here. Now, this one here is not a shape. The one that's on here right now, it's actually just like as if it's brushed on there. There's no little shape icon, see? But now if I draw with my custom shape, I can draw one and it's just a shape. And see, this one has the little icon on it and it treats it as if it's a custom shape. Oops, not clicked on the right thing. Okay, so that's how that works. And then of course, some people use those to like watermark images or they'll put the little logo in the corner or something like that. So that's how you do it in Photoshop. It's very similar in Photopea, but Photopea is just a tiny bit picky about some things. So same thing, I put my name in here and I put my shape in here and then I'm going to make a layer and we'll just brush again on here like I did on the other one. I'm not going to worry about this looking really great because I'm just going to try to hurry so you kind of get the gist of it. But you would probably want to like do a better job. This is going to look not the best. Okay, so I got these little guys connected. It's pretty awful, but it's okay. All right, so got them connected. And now I need to make this brush shape a path. So again, Control click on the thumbnail. It's a little box. It puts marching ants around them. Then go to your Paths panel, just like in Photoshop, go to the bottom and hit the little Selection to Path button. Now they have the little blue lines on them. And if they have the blue lines, that means they're paths, right? But remember, they're just paths. They're not filled in with anything. So we need to turn them now into shapes. So once we've done that, we're going to hit that color, that button down here for the adjustment and go to the top one, color fill. Make sure it's black. Hit OK. All right. So now you have that. I'm going to get rid of the brush layer because I don't need it anymore. All right, so we've got a color fill layer, we got a shape layer, we got my name. So now we need to select all three of these and then right click and merge them. So same concept as before. And then in Photopea, we have to go one more step, because if we don't, if we try to go here now under edit, same place, under define new, custom shape. Oh, that time it worked. Actually, if it keeps them a shape, you can add it right then. If it's grayed out, you'll need to go through that process one more time where you control click, go to the paths panel, and then turn it into the shapes, and you may have to add that color fill layer. But as long as it's not grayed out, you're good. So now I've got it. Now theirs didn't have me add it to anything. Like it didn't have me name it. So now we just have to test it. So I'm gonna click on the little star and then come up here, and it should load up all of the shapes that have been loaded before, and it will add whatever one you made to the very bottom. So I can click on it, and then just as before, I should be able to draw it. And there it is. And notice it has the little shape icon on there, so we're good to go. And the other one stayed a shape too. I can't quite see it. It did, which is why it lets you add it to custom shapes. But it has to consider it a shape before it will let you add it to custom shapes. And that's how you do it.